Don't kill me! Please! I got a wife!
You should have thought about your wife before.
I'll do anything you want! Just don't kill me! Oh, for Christ's sake!
Don Clemente sends his regards.
The VO, the direction and that sort of stuff. Obviously the guys at 2K, they're super talented, and the same guys worked on the first game is working on the second game. But hopefully with working with 2K Games, we've been able to add that extra quality, you know, and you're going to see that through the cinematics and stuff like that. Of course, as well, another big thing that we've worked on is creating this much bigger, much more expansive sandbox for the game to set place in. You know, the game takes place in Empire Bay. It's twice as big as the original city, you know. There's so much more to do than there was in the original city. And that's one of the other big factors. And then I think thirdly, the other factor is the combat in the game now. It's more like a third-person shooter than it is an open-world game, you know. Once you go into these big interior environments, they're full of dynamic objects. They're full of the details that you'd expect in, say, another big game, maybe like Gears of War or Uncharted, you know. And to have that in a sandbox is something really unique that we think Mafia's doing. Best buddy Joe. And that's how they sort of embark on this sort of life set against this winter backdrop. And as I've just said, you know, it's a sort of bleak time in Vito's life, you know. He's come back from the war, he's poor, he has nothing going on for him, you know. So, and the winter really plays into that. But as Vito sort of works his way up the ranks, becomes a made man, you know, things start looking up for him. And the second part of the game, the first things first is to say that Vito isn't a commander, you know. He doesn't order these guys about. He's the lead character in the game, so naturally he takes the first role, and then any wingmen that are with him kind of provide the supporting role. They'll intelligently use cover behind, provide covering fire, and they'll shoot enemies on their own, but they won't on their own go off and try and complete the mission. You know, one thing. Now, the way the mission sort of works as a structure is a particular story beat or mission is a day in Vito's life. He wakes up in the morning, and maybe he plays out this part of the mission for three hours, and then maybe he doesn't do nothing for 2 months, and we time jump that, you know. We say Vito, and we fill in why maybe he's had to lie low, you know. He's just burned down a whiskey distillery. It doesn't make any sense for Vito to then go off and go murder somebody else, you know, of driving in it. It does. The Empire Bay is a huge place, so you're going to have to get from one side to the other. You're going to have to drive away. Police car chases, things like that coming out. Your AI wingman will sort of fire out the windows. The pedestrians and things, people know you, that they know you by your first name. Later on, they're like, Mr. Scaletta. And nobody messes with you now. People respect you. You're a made man in the Mafia. So Mafia 2...